Hello everyone, and welcome to our travel sketching masterclass. Hi everyone, I'm Anastasia, and I am so glad to see you here today. People from all over the world: Pakistan, Spain, France, Netherlands, UK, Italy, awesome, Sweden, Quebec, Estonia, Florida, Serbia, Norway, Denmark. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. And feel free to interact with me in the chat today. Please let me know where you're joining from. So before we start, I wanted to tell you a few organizational things. So I'm here today with my team, and I'm glad to introduce you Andrea Mello, my community manager that will help me to answer your questions in the chat today. And there's one more person here, Fabrizio, my husband. He will be taking care of the technical side of things, and we'll make sure that everything goes smoothly today, and we'll be responsible for pinning any links that will be useful today, and so on. So, thanks again for joining. I'm super excited. If you have any questions during the masterclass, please feel free to put them here in the chat, and Andrea will answer you in the chat, and I will be answering some of the questions live as well. So I will be checking the chat periodically as well to answer your question also. So let me switch to my screen so I can show you what I have in store for you today. In the meantime, I see so many people join. Give me just a moment. All right, so I will switch to my other screen. Give me a second, I'm getting lost here. Okay, so you will be able to see my screen and my face. I'm going to just go back to the beginning of my presentation, and I think it should work now. All right, so today's all about travel sketching, and the goal of this masterclass is to show you that you can create your own art completely from scratch in as little as 30 minutes a day. So today we're going to sketch together. By the way, if you don't have a reference picture yet, go and check your emails and download it because you will need it for the demo part. By the way, this masterclass will be structured in two parts. So in the first part, I will be giving you some tips and advice on how to incorporate the travel sketching method in your journey, and in general give you the tips on what you need of not only getting the skills but also bringing your art to the next level. And the second part of the masterclass will be dedicated to the live demo. Today you will discover a proven system to create art and transform your life. I will not be afraid of saying this. Because travel sketching and this method literally transformed mine. And after this, you will never see your creative practice the same way again, I promise. So who is this masterclass for? Aspiring artists looking to develop their painting and drawing skills. Today we are going to create a sketch entirely from scratch. So I will be speaking about the importance of both drawing and painting skills today. Self-taught artists wanting to build confidence and find their unique style. So even though today's masterclass is not directly related to style, we will speak about this important topic and how daily sketching, travel sketching practice can help you to develop one. For beginners eager to explore their creative potential and learn foundational techniques, today we are also going to speak a lot about the foundational principles of art and why they are so important. Experienced artists who want to expand their knowledge. Even if you have experience under your belt, I'm sure you will find today's masterclass valuable. By the way, let me know in the comments whether you consider yourself a beginner, an intermediate, or a more experienced, so advanced artist. I would love to learn more about you. So please, if you want, put that in the chat. And this masterclass is basically for anyone who wants to incorporate art into their daily routine, regardless of their skill level, and also I would say regardless of your busy schedule, because today's goal is to show you that you don't have to have hours a day to start developing your creativity today. In this masterclass, you will discover how to create art that truly connects with people on a deeper level. So it's not only about skills, it's also about how do you want to position yourself? How do you want to connect with this world through your art? Develop your unique artistic style without feeling overwhelmed. So I want to emphasize, of course, the development, the discovery of your unique style will not happen today during this masterclass. It's a process. But today I really wanted to show you the behind the scenes of this process and what it takes into developing your unique style. And this masterclass will help you to build the confidence to showcase your work proudly, and if you want, even turn it into income. So today I will speak you about my path, of the path of my students, and show you that creativity can bring you a lot further than what you may think. So if you also want to potentially develop this as a career path, today I will give you the tools and ideas on how you can do so. So does this sound like you? You struggle with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. We all struggle with these. I certainly did. You often feel stuck discovering and refining your own distinct style. So this is actually very natural because, again, as I said, this is a process. And in the beginning, it's totally fine to feel stuck. But today I will give you some tools and tips on how to make things move forward and maybe how to understand what to pay attention to. You often feel overwhelmed with information leaving you confused. Why I want to emphasize this. So there's lots of information online, lots of tutorials, lots of tips, lots of people teaching how to draw and paint. And even though I don't want to say tutorials are bad or classes are bad, but these may lead you to being confused what to follow, what tips to follow, what tips not to follow. So this is completely normal. I also want to tell you this. And you want to improve your drawing and painting skills. I guess this applies to each one of you who joined this masterclass. So stay tuned for this, because this is exactly what we will be doing in the second part of the masterclass. So here's the real problem. You are stuck with online tutorials, but you want to have the right skills to creating your own art while overcoming self-doubt. Again, why do we feel stuck with tutorials is not because tutorials are bad, it's just because that they can give you certain skills, they can give you certain tools. But what most of artists and most of my students faced on their journey at a certain point is that they can repeat after a tutorial. They walk away with a finished painting. It's awesome. But once they sit all alone with their white sheet of paper, they suddenly feel empty. They don't know what to start with. They don't know how to approach drawing or painting something on their own. And they wonder why that happens. I followed so many tutorials, I should be able to do it. So today I will tell you why this happens exactly and how to overcome this. So if you're ready, let's begin. What is travel sketching and why we are talking about travel sketching today? Because travel sketching and daily sketching practice is an incredible way of how you can up-level your skills in an easy and fun way. So travel sketching, a part of being, of course, a practice to bring your sketchbook with you on a trip, or not necessarily on a trip. Maybe you want to walk away and go to the cafe and, draw a scene you see there, or maybe you want to draw your cat. Travel sketching or daily sketching is this kind of practice. So the goal here is to sketch on a go, or sketching using reference pictures, but sketch your daily life, what you experience in the real life. Also, travel sketching is a way to develop your skills and explore yourself and the world around you. So I wanted to emphasize that travel sketching and daily sketching is so much more than just blindly reproducing reality. It's also a way of processing reality through yourself and actually exploring who you are as a person and transmitting this vision on paper through consistent practice. Again, I will be repeating this quite often today because this is really, really important. Consistent practice should be daily, should be consistent, but what often makes people fear these words such as consistency, routine, and so on, because it is associated with something boring, something difficult, something that takes lots of time. But my goal is to make you understand that this practice can be manageable and fun. So my today's goal is to make it feel manageable, exciting, and to motivate you to do it on your own day after day. So the importance of small daily actions, it can be really straightforward, but I really wanted to give you some real life examples to also make you feel this concept. So anything you want in this life requires action. I bet you know that if you want a healthy body, or if you want to have if you want to be in better shape, you need to eat well, you need to exercise. If you want a new skill, let's say you want to learn a new language, what do you need to do? Of course, you need to learn the basics, learn the foundations, and then practice daily. So you don't expect that, oh, I decide to learn a language today and then I wake up tomorrow speaking the language. So of course, it's a process, and art, your creative journey, is exactly the same thing. It's a process. So my advice to you is to embrace this process, and my goal here is to make this process easier, more manageable, and more fun. So by joining this masterclass, you've already taken the action. So today is going to be all about action. So today you made this first step, you joined this masterclass, you are here live with me. So thank you for prioritizing yourself, and I want you to thank yourself for choosing your well-being, your creativity, and developing your gift today. My mission on this journey is to empower you, to empower creatives to express their true selves, and this is why I'm here with you today. So let's dive into the mistakes. So the promise of today's masterclass was also to tell you about the 3 common mistakes artists make, especially beginners to intermediates. By the way, let me see who people today are. So I see many beginners and many intermediates. This is what I expected. So thanks for sharing this. It's very interesting. I'm glad to hear it. You are in a totally great place if you are a beginner or intermediate. So most artists make these 3 mistakes, and I will show you how to avoid these. So let's dive right in. Mistake number 1, believing you need hours every single day. As I said, today we are going to create a sketch from scratch in only 30 minutes, but I will tell you how to sketch in even less time. So the truth is, you can level up your skills by practicing as little as 15 minutes a day. I will give you real practical advice on how to do this today. Mistake number 2, constantly switching between styles and mediums. So I want to emphasize here, I'm not saying if you have lots of interests, lots of mediums you're using, you don't have to just cut everything off. But if you want to practice quickly, if you want to grow quickly, it's important to have a focus in your practice. So the truth is that consistency and focus on one medium or style can accelerate your progress and help you find your artistic voice quicker. The tip here, though, is that, again, you don't have to just focus on one thing and forget about everything else for your whole life. But what you can do instead is that you can use your daily sketching practice to play around with 1 or 2 secondary mediums to spark creativity without losing the focus. So, for example, in today's masterclass, I'm going to show you the techniques on how to use watercolor painting. But it also means that you can also incorporate maybe colored pencils in your sketches, or markers, or pencil or liners in your sketches. But the important thing is not losing the focus. Mistake number 3, following tutorials instead of focusing on developing your unique style. Again, I don't want to say tutorials are evil, tutorials are great, but the fastest way to grow as an artist is to combine them with self-exploration. So not only closing yourself in the comfort of repeating after someone, but challenging yourself to step outside of your comfort zone and actually face this white sheet of paper with intention. And a pro tip here is to follow a structured path, because as I said, when you have these kind of fears of white sheet of paper, not knowing where to start, knowing what you want to do, but not having, the right steps to get there, usually this happens because you don't have the solid foundation. So this is the main problem in this case. So that's why following a structured path from solid foundations to advanced techniques is the quickest way to grow more effectively and get lasting creative skills. So the importance of a routine. Again, let's back to the routine. Like, importance of getting the skills. This is what I want to mention. And the importance of following a structured program, because as I said, when you get bits of information here and there from a tutorial, from a YouTube video, from a TikTok, from a reel, this is great. But at the end of the day, if you don't structure this knowledge, if you don't have a path to follow, you may just waste your energy, waste your attention on lots of different things and not getting good at anything. So this is the example I like to give, because I am someone who is not really good at, at sports, for example. I'm not someone who's naturally driven to, being very intentional about sports. So I have to kind of force myself. And what I found is that sports is quite similar to arts in some ways, because imagine you come to the gym and you have lots of gear there, you have lots of classes to choose from. How would you know what is the right for you? How would you know what to do? So of course you can just jump right in and start to waste your energy and time on things that may give you some results, but will not be as far as effective if you had a path, if you had a program to follow. So in my opinion, Art Mentor or the art program is not much different from a gym coach or a gym program, because in arts this is exactly the same. You have so many options, you have so many topics to focus on. If you go to an art store, art supplies to choose from are endless, so you can feel lost the same exact way as if you go to the gym and stay in front of all of this gear not knowing what to start with. So that's why I'm here to guide you on your journey to your authentic creative self. And in case we haven't met, I wanted to introduce myself real quick. So my name is Anastasia. I'm a watercolor artist, book illustrator, and author. I'm a mentor for creatives and top teacher on Skillshare. And I'm grateful for my community of over 250,000 creatives online. I also am an author and illustrator of my own book. And I had the privilege of guided thousands of creatives in discovering their purpose in art. So to inspire you a little bit and to start getting deeper into the topic of travel sketching, I wanted to show you some of these pictures. So last year, me and my husband made one of our biggest dreams come true. So our dream was to go on a big trip and really experience the local life. And my personal goal was to be able to create art for myself, create art daily. So this is when I got really, really serious about the travel sketching practice. And I really took it really seriously. I gave myself a promise that I will do one sketch a day for 5 months, no matter what. So I brought lots of sketchbooks with me, my art supplies, and I went on this journey with this promise. So this is what I did. We visited 7 countries over 5 months. I brought home over 200 sketches and I filled 3 sketchbooks. And this experience also helped me develop the method I will be talking about today. And it generally helped me understand lots of things, especially about how to work when you don't have a lot of time. Because let's be honest, when you travel, especially if it's not something like for 5 months, but only 1 week or two, you want to see as many things as possible. You don't have to necessarily the time to stay and sketch. So today I'm going to give you the tips on how you can make this happen actually. So this is a sketchbook tour now. I will show you some examples of my sketchbooks from the Asian trip to inspire you and to help you progress quicker. So I will give you some actionable tips on how I made these sketches and how you can use the same techniques and same rules in your creative practice. These examples will also teach you how to train your eyes and hands to work in harmony. This is one of the important things we need to understand, because sometimes you have the vision in your head, but your hand is not capturing the vision you have here. So your goal through daily sketching or travel sketching is to connect these two things and make them work in harmony. So let me start with these 3 sketching methods, because this is what can really help you with this process of clicking, of making your brain, your head work together with your hand. So there are 3 main sketching methods: from reference pictures, from live, and a combined approach. And all of these are important in their own way. First of all, let me show you this spread from Bali, Indonesia, where I used all the 3 approaches. The first approach is by using reference pictures. So this approach is especially useful when you don't have lots of time. So for example, you walk down the street, you found this beautiful frangipani flower, you want to paint it, but you are in a rush. So you can take a picture and paint it when you are in your hotel room. The same thing works for people or for animals, because these subjects, of course, will not wait for you to paint them, to get your art supplies. They will move, they will maybe run away, walk away. Transport is the same thing. So for these kind of moving subjects, it's crucial to use reference pictures. Method number 2 is from life. Why I always recommend this method is because it really allows you to train this muscle, so this muscle memory, and really connecting what you see in real life with what you do with your hand on paper. So this sketch here was created entirely from life. I was actually sitting there in front of this little temple in Bali, and I sketched it while I was actually looking at it. And this third method is a combined approach. So what does it mean? It means that you start your sketch on a spot. Maybe you do a drawing, or you even start coloring your sketch, and then you finish once you get home. And you finish with the reference picture. So it means you need to take a picture of the scene you started on a spot so that you can finish it later. This method is especially effective for any kind of detailed scenes. For example, this one, you see it's a combination of architecture and like botanical elements, like this tree here. So it's quite complex. The building has lots of interesting, intricate details. So this is quite a time-consuming sketch. That you don't necessarily have time to finish on a spot, especially if you're traveling. So this approach may be really, really useful in this case. Actually, this trip, I wanted to repeat this. When I went on this trip, I was expecting nothing. I was already an established artist, but by that time, but travel sketching was new for me, and I started to share this experience, share these tips I was learning and putting into practice during this trip. And it attracted an immense community of creatives and travel lovers. So I am super, super grateful for this community that was created once I started to express myself through travel sketching. It also helped me to illustrate my first book. I am now finishing to illustrate the book that will be out in 2025, so in a few months. And it allowed me to help others to do the same, so to develop their true creative potential through quick, simple daily actions like travel sketching. And again, I had the privilege to guide others on their journeys, and I really wanted to show you real quick what people have to say about working with me. For example, Linda says, I received the equivalent of a professional art school education. Nehal Rathod from India says, I had no prior experience in the art field, but now I run my own art studio and sell my works worldwide. So why I show you this is because even if you're a complete beginner, even if you are just in the beginning of your journey, I want you to know that you never know where this journey can bring you. Nihal, for example, was someone who was just starting out when we started to work together, and now she's running her own art studio. She was recently selected for a very prestigious art exhibition. So the world is full of opportunities. You just need to start. Valentina says, I'm all set for my career as a nature illustrator. So again, the world, the possibilities for artists today are endless. Also thanks to social media, thanks to all of the tools we have today. But also what I wanted to say, it all feels amazing. Maybe you have your favorite artists, maybe you follow me on social media and you scroll through my feed and you feel like, oh, she has everything figured out. But I really want to tell you that a few years ago, I was also a student with no clear plan and only a lot of curiosity and willingness to put in the work. And to give you this proof, to give you a kind of this idea of what I started with, I wanted to show you this image here. So when I was a student, I actually studied arts. So I studied arts professionally for 6 years in an art academy. And these were my works as a student. You see, I had no clear vision, what I wanted to do, no clear plan, no style. I was doing a little bit of drawing, some sculpture, some painting. So all at the same time, at the same place without any direction. And I wanted to let you know that this is okay if your creative practice starts really messy. The importance is though finding the focus. So in this scheme, you can see what happened when I started to take my art more intentionally and with more focus. So from 2018 to 2022, I really developed my own style. So I focused on watercolor instead of lots of different random mediums. I focused on watercolor and I focused on what I love. So colors, I love like animals, I love plants, I love these intricate, whimsical things. So this is what I was doing for these years. But what I also want to say is that your style is not something you find once and you need to do this thing for the rest of your life. So it's a process. Your career, your creativity is a process, and you don't have to be afraid of evolve. Actually, it's a really good thing, because at a certain point in 2023, actually, I started to feel that I did not feel aligned with my creative process anymore. What I mean, I was focusing on doing very detailed illustrations, very time-consuming illustrations, and I felt that I wanted to be more spontaneous. I also wanted to travel more. I had this dream to go on this big trip, so I knew I could not bring big, pieces of paper or lots of tools with me. So I knew I wanted to be more flexible with my creative practice. That's why I decided to embark on this travel sketching journey. And here on the right side, you can see some of the examples of my sketchbooks. Well, actually, here are they on the bigger scale. So all of this to say that you can totally pivot and change along the way. So your creativity is at a finishing point, and the goal here is to again being able to start this journey by building a strong foundation, and then sky is the limit for yourself. So I hope this little story of mine inspired you, and maybe you see yourself in all of that a little bit. So I just wanted to let you know that if it was possible for me and for my students, this is possible for you as well. So the creative practice I'm telling about, so the methods I'm telling about, the travel sketching is a method that can help you develop your unique artistic voice without feeling overwhelmed. Because again, the least we want here is to overwhelm you and make it feel really challenging and not doable, because this is why a lot of people quit. And this is actually, again, the myth. This is the number one mistake we were talking about, because with only 15-30 minutes a day, you can already get a long way. So now it's time for our painting demo. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you feel motivated to start to paint together. I will now switch to my face, first of all, to show you the art supplies we will be using, and after that we can start our sketch. So give me just a second. I'm back. So let's speak about the art supplies. By the way, I will show you what I will be using now. But for those of you guys who are here live with me today, I have a special bonus for those who are staying till the end. You will be able to download a free PDF tutorial on how to paint a banana bundle. So it's another simple tutorial under 30 minutes. And as a bonus, you are getting a complete list of the art supplies I recommend for travel sketching and for daily sketching in general. So I will be showing you the supplies I'm going to use now, but if you want a complete list of what I recommend, stick till the end and you will be able to download the free PDF. Again, this is only available for those of you who are here live with me today. So, as for the art supplies, I will be using my sketchbook today. Actually, doesn't matter what you use, a sketchbook or regular sheet of paper. This is a sketchbook I was using in Asia. This is how it looks like. It's Moleskine sketchbook. It's 250 gram paper, I guess. And this is how it looks like. So I like the format, like it's long, and I like that you can use the space of this sketchbook creatively. So sometimes I like to place one sketch in the middle and I place other sketches on the sides. So I love the format. This is, of course, what we need, paper. You can also use just regular sheet of paper, better if it's cotton. So this is a pure 100% cotton paper. These sketchbooks are a mix of cotton and cellulose. So this is about paper. For the brushes, so for today's session, you need a synthetic round brush. It's important that it has a pointy tip. So I will show you a few brushes. So these are from my upcoming brush set, custom brush set I'm creating in collaboration with Craftamo, that is going to be available, by the way, in really shortly, like in a few weeks, I think. So this set contains 8 brushes. I will be using 1 or 2 today. But what I want to mention, you can use any brush with a pointy tip and with a round body. This set also contains travel brushes. So for the travel lovers, I think it's going to be a great set to look at. So this is what I'm going to use today in terms of brushes. As for other supplies, we will need a regular pencil, so just a graphite pencil, doesn't really matter which one. This one is HB, which means it's medium. You can use HB, B2B. This is usually the range I use. A kneaded eraser or a regular eraser. We will need this for correcting any mistakes we want to correct. And watercolor paint, of course. Watercolor exists in tubes or pans. I usually use tubes, so tubes look like this. Whoops, there you go. So watercolor in tubes or pans is the exact same quality, but I use tubes because I use this travel sketching palette. So this palette is perfect for sketching on a go because it's foldable, and then once you open it, this is how it looks like. it comes empty. So these pans are empty when you purchase it. So you need to fill it with your own colors from tubes. This is why I mainly use tubes. And this side of the palette is used for mixing the colors. And when it gets dirty, you can easily clean it with your paper towel and mix a new color on top. So this is what I was using during my 5 months in Asia, and I 100% recommend it. For studio work, of course, maybe you want to get more comfortable and have more space for mixing colors. In this case, I recommend you using a ceramic palette. This is what I'm going to use today. So the one with sections, with different sections, are really handy. And this is it. We need a glass of water. We need paper towels again, and this is it. So let me know if you are painting with me. I am super, super excited. And by the way, if you are painting with me or watching the replay and you want to share your work on social media, you can do so and tag me. So you can tag me by writing natura.illustrata. So if you tag me, I will be able to see your work. First of all, I'm always excited to see what my students create at my masterclasses. And you can get the chance to be featured in my stories. So I always love to give a shout out to my students. So if you want to do so, you are more than welcome. So let's dive right in. I am going to switch to my camera now, so you can see everything I'm doing. I'm going to adjust my light real quick so that my paper is nice and illuminated. Let me see. Give me a second so I can get the camera here. 1 second. Okay, there you go. Now you can see my sheet of paper. And let me put another light so that it's nice and bright. All right. Okay, also we need the reference picture, of course. If you have yours, make sure to open it on the other device. I have mine here on my iPad. If you struggle to find the picture, I suggest you to go and check the emails you got from me, because I sent you the picture several times. I also sent you the link to a page where you can download the picture and the art supplies guide. So this is what we are painting today. This black crane, absolutely beautiful. And this is going to be a perfect example of show you how to paint and how to pick subjects that you can paint in less than 30 minutes. So it's important, because one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is that they start to work on something super complex and then they only manage to do the drawing, or they feel rushed and they don't, they cannot finish this amount of work in just 30 minutes. So single, simple subjects are essential for quick sketches. That's why we picked this one. This reference is also going to be a great way of explaining you how to work with the limited color palette. So we will just need a few colors here. By the way, this bird is black, but I will show you how to paint black subjects without the use of black watercolor. I will also tell you why this is so important. We will also speak about the foundational skills you need to draw and paint anything. So I will show you how to sketch something like this from scratch. I will show you the basic techniques we will need to represent this bird realistically. And finally, I will show you some advanced techniques on how to make the texture, for example. So you can see that this bird has this very interesting texture. So it's almost looking like hair. So this exercise will be perfect to understanding these like more advanced techniques that you can use not only on birds, but also on any kind of hairy, furry animals. So let's dive in. I will put this reference aside and I will start to sketch from scratch. Let me make myself some space here so I can put my iPad and see what I'm doing. And when I'm painting, I will make sure to put the palette here so you can see what colors I'm mixing. First things first, as I said, in order to paint something, we first need to draw it. That's why this is my number one rule. If you want to learn how to paint, you need to learn how to draw. And people often underestimate drawing. And sketching, daily sketching, can really help you to understand the importance of drawing. So for any subject, we are not going to try to make the perfect outline. We are going to build, I would say, this image here. So with the use of simple, basic geometrical shapes. So let's say I need to represent my bird. What I'm doing first usually is I start with the general movement. So this is the movement of the head, and this is the movement of the neck. Let me put the light even closer. So the first steps may be not very visible because I'm using quite a light pencil. I think now we can see it a little bit better. But you will be able to see more on the next steps. Then, for the head, I am starting with just a simple oval. So a simple oval will help me to represent the head. After that, I am going to outline the neck. So this was the central line. Now with these two parallel lines, you see I've outlined the neck. So really simple. I will then connect the neck with the head. So before it was just an oval, now I created this transition here. And finally, I need to make the beak. So the beak is quite easy. Again, I have the central line here already. So I think this was disturbing. I can use these two lines, and now my goal is to capture the shape of the beak, because now I think it looks a little bit funny. So I'm taking my eraser and I am going to adjust the shape, and I also need to capture the length. Also, for measuring the length of your elements, what you can do is to take a ruler or just take your pencil and measure. For example, I measured the beak and I see that the beak, you see, is shorter than the head. So with this knowledge in mind, I can go back to my sheet of paper and I can measure the beak here and the head. And I see now my beak is too long. So I already know that I need to shorten it. And these simple measurements can help me to make my sketch look more realistic. I want to mention that today we are starting with quite an advanced subject. So I picked this bird, which I think is really, really charismatic. It's really interesting to draw and paint. But usually what I suggest to any kind of intermediate beginners, actually to anyone, is to start with simple subjects, simple botanical subjects. So botanicals are usually the easiest subjects to start with, because with animals, with birds, if you make the beak shorter or of a different shape, your bird will look different. It's not going to be the same bird anymore. But with botanicals, it's easier. For example, if you make a leaf slightly bigger or slightly smaller, this is not going to be a big deal. So that's why today's session is going to be a little bit advanced. Maybe it's going to be a little bit out of your comfort zone for some of you, but I suggest you to challenge yourself during our today's session. So you see that after outlining the basic elements such as the beak, the neck, I made this cross. So before drawing the eye, I need to position it. So to pick the right position for the eye, I usually like to observe my reference, and I first make this little cross, and then I kind of place the eye inside of it. And only then I am starting to give it some details. So I make the shape look more realistic. Maybe I make the pupil, also make the highlight. This is quite important. the eyelids. So all of that goes after. So you can see that we really started from the basic shapes, and then we are walking our way towards the details. So once I have the basic shapes, I can start also to outline these feathers. So you see that the feathers on the reference, they have these pointy tips. So it's really important that we show these. And when we will start the painting process, I will show you also what strokes you need to use for fur or for feathers. It's going to be really helpful, as I said, for any kind of subjects that are hairy or furry, so birds, mammals. Also, what we will learn today is how to paint white elements or white subjects with watercolor without the use of white paint. So it's going to be interesting. Black bird with no black paint and white feathers with no white paint. So I am going to show you exactly this, and also why I suggest avoiding white paint in watercolor. First of all, it's a no-no for me. And then black color in watercolor, it's also a no for me, even though I'm not judging people who do like using black color. Personally, I avoid it because I think there are better methods for mixing dark or black colors, and that avoiding pure black makes my works look more vibrant, I would say, and more cohesive. And this is the tip I picked up after actually during my studies in the art academy. My teachers were quite old school about it, so they were absolutely banning black color for both gouache, acrylics, and watercolor, and they were saying that there are much better ways of mixing black colors. So since then I started to follow this rule, and actually I found a lot of benefits in doing so. So today I'm going to tell you about the few of these. So you can see that at this point I am refining the shape of the beak and the appearance of the bird. So these elements such as feathers and these details I see on the face, on the head of the bird, are secondary. So we don't start the process with details, we start the process with the basic geometrical shapes. So this is very, very important. Also, one more thing is that so there's like the composition of this sketch is really simple. So my goal was to place the sketch until here, because I will place my palette here so that I don't cover it. So basically this is what I had in my head as a space. And it was really important of not placing the sketch too close to the border. So this is one of the most common mistakes that people start, for example, from the beak. They start and then they realize that they don't have the space for the head, or they realize that the head is too big and they already, made it with all the details and stuff. So this is the really, really basic first rule of composition I want to tell you about, is to place your subject correctly on a sheet of paper. So composition is also one of the foundational skills you need in order to create independently without, again, following someone else's process. So as, for example, perspective, especially for those who want to maybe do travel sketching and make sketches of cities or scenes that include architecture. Perspective is really, really important. Also today, you will also see the importance of color mixing and color theory. And I will give you lots of examples today based again on how to create black using black, or how to obtain white color in watercolor without the use of white, and so on. So without these skills, without this knowledge, again, it will be very, very difficult to do something on your own. So because these foundational skills are basically your alphabet in the world of art. So imagine you are learning how to write. Can you write without knowing the alphabet? Of course not. So art is not very different. It's basically the same. So the basic art disciplines are your alphabet in the art world. That's why, of course, today I will be able to give you the overview of what these disciplines are and why they're important. But learning these in a structured way is a really important thing in a runway that will again eventually allow you to create anything you want on your own without the need of help from tutorials or from someone to guide you. You will be able to make the whole process from start to finish on your own based on your skills. So while I was talking, I was able to create this sketch. I think this is enough for what we need to create. Give me a second, by the way. I will make sure my computer has enough power so that we don't get cut off. There you go. Much better. So at this point, my sketch is ready. I will erase a few guiding lines with my kneaded eraser, but I think this is fine. Also, the other way you can use these erasers is by rolling it, so creating like this little sausage and rolling it on your sheet of paper, and you see that it takes away the dark excess of pencil. And this is what I like doing before I start my painting process. So one more tip on how to use kneaded or kneadable eraser. And at this point, we can start the painting. So I will put my palette here, and let me introduce you the concept of mixing a black color without the use of black colors. So first of all, I will show you one of my favorite colors that I use for everything. It's indigo. Indigo is a dark blue color. I will show you how it looks like. And this is one of the main colors I use for darkening my colors. For example, for darkening my greens. Like for example, I want a dark green color. Instead of mixing green with black, I will mix green with indigo, and it will give me a much more rich and beautiful color. So this is how indigo looks like when you add water. I will make a little swatch for you here. So this is color number 1 I'm going to use. I will also use some sepia. Sepia is a dark brown color. I also use sepia for darkening my colors. When you look at it this way, it looks almost black. And if you use it in a really, really concentrated version, especially if you mix it with indigo, it's going to look almost like black color. You see it, it's really, really dark. So I'll make a swatch for you here as well. So this is what I usually use as a combination, or one of them, for darkening the colors. And I will also put my other colors on the palette. So today I'm going to use a red. We will need a cold red, so something like ruby or carmine. So kind of a pinkish red. I will show you how this looks like. So this is ruby. I'm using colors by White Nights, by the way. So White Nights, I have some from Winsor Newton here in my set, some from Sonnelier. But basically any professional grade watercolor brand will work fine. So I would just say avoid like children's watercolor because these are not good quality and you will not get great results. So let me show you how this color looks like. So you see it's more pinkish. So that's why you can say it's a cold red. For the eye, I will use a color from Sandelier, by the way. You can also mix it. It's quinacridone gold. You can also use raw sienna. It's going to give you a very, very similar effect. Or if you don't have raw sienna, you can just mix some cadmium yellow or any yellow with any red, and you will obtain a similar color. So basically our goal is to create like an orange color. So let me show you how this one looks like. I love this color. It's really, really saturated. So this is what I'm going to use for the eye. And basically that's the main palette I'm going to use. So no white, no black. And let's dive right in. So the first step for painting this bird will be to make the first layer, first wash. So with sketches, with quick sketches, for us it's important to do as many things as we can on one layer or on one wash. I will explain you real quick what I mean. So I will start with the general tone of the bird. So you see that my bird has not only one dark color. You see it has this graduation, I would say, from these lighter grays to these darker shades here. So this is what we are going to focus on in this first step of giving our bird the volume. And the volume is going to be given to the bird by creating contrast. So I really want you to remember this this concept of contrast, because it's really, really, really important, especially for quick sketches. Number one thing you need to obtain in a sketch in order for it to look realistic and interesting is to have enough contrast. Contrast of what, you would ask? Contrast of light and shadow, first of all, in order to create an illusion of a 3D subject. This is what we're going to do. And then also you can play around with temperature contrast. This is why we have cold colors and warm colors in our palette. So let me start with the first wash. You see, I've just mixed some sepia with water and with indigo, sorry. And I obtained this light gray color. So it's bluish, grayish color, something like this. This is what I'm going to use as a first layer. What I'm going to do, I'm using a big brush. This is number 14. It's a mop brush, but you can just use something medium big. And I am going to start covering the whole surface of this upper part of the bird with this color. You see that I already use my brush in a really peculiar way. So instead of just starting to randomly color the surface, you see I'm using these kind of strokes like this. So I'm doing this on purpose, and I'm doing so to already create the illusion of feathers. And very important, you see I'm going from the outside to the inside, so not the other way. Actually, you can do the other way, but it depends on if you're left-handed or right-handed, if like how you feel it more comfortable. I am more comfortable like this, but you see the goal here is to have this irregular edge. I've covered this top portion, and then I will switch to a darker color. I will mix the same exact color, but with more pigment. So in watercolor, it's all about the balance between water and color, or water and pigment. So it means that more water you have, then your color will be more dark, you see, more saturated. If you add less color and more water, you will get a more watery mix. It's going to be lighter, and it's going to be less colorful, so less saturated. Once I reach the eye, I'm going to be a bit more careful. I'm going to go around it without touching it, and also without touching this pupil here. So just being a bit careful in that area. And then I will continue with the same method here. So you see I'm leaving this white space completely untouched for now. And I'm going to use these same strokes to create this lower portion of the head. There you go. So my husband is saying that there is a technical problem. Let me take care of that. Let me finish this stroke. So let me see. Let me see what's wrong here. Okay, so there was a technical issue and we're trying to fix it. So sorry for that. Let me know if you see something now and if you hear me. So we're trying to understand what's wrong here because the connection is good. Checked it. Something is wrong with YouTube. Something seems to not work on YouTube. So let me know first of all if you can hear me, and let me know what you see on your screen. If it's black, for now. Problem with video. Can't see, video freeze. Okay. Not sure what's going wrong there. Give me a second. Bear with us. We are going to solve this. Let me try to see my other device. What's wrong there? Il telefono si è sconnesso di internet, non so perché. Okay, I think I got what was the issue. So this should stop in a few moments. Perché fa così? Okay. Let me know if it's better now. So the sound is on. I hear you sometimes. We can only hear you. All good, but you're echoing. Okay. Sorry, guys, there's so many messages, and we're working on getting the video back. So, first of all, sorry for the inconvenience, and thank you so much for staying here with us. Going to switch my face in the meantime. Then just something. Let me switch my. There. This seems to work. Actually, not everything is gone. Okay. Fan, frozen screen, no video boxing. Okay. Just if you. Allora, di Andrea che proverò a fare un altro link.
Andrea, non possiamo farlo, non può farlo lei.
Che senso? Lo può mandare nella chat? O no?
Sì, te lo posso mandare io, ma l'hai fatto tu?
No, lo sto facendo male. Vediamo.
No, no,